All right, we continue to be live and breaking on Republic TV. We're getting some fresh updates right now. And we have a mega exclusive waiting for you, which is going to set the national news agenda. I want to go across to Abhishek, who will get us the details of this big story. Trust me, you do not want to miss this. Abhishek, take us through.
We get you this exclusive Republic TV Shravan Singh bringing you this mega exclusive story. And this is on Amnesty International. Like we carried out the charge sheet that has been filed by the Enforcement Directorate in the Amnesty International case. I'll have to see whether Shravan is joining us live. These are exclusive details. These are exclusive details of the charge sheet filed by the Enforcement Directorate in the Amnesty International case. Amnesty International, remember viewers, was fined to the tune of about 50 crore rupees, an additional 10 crore rupees on Akar Patel, the then CEO of the self-proclaimed human rights body, which actually calls itself a profit-making firm and into commercial deals. In fact, in the charge sheet that has been accessed by Shravan Singh, it says that they are a for-profit company with focus on providing knowledge-based services. If you look at the brazenness with which they are calling human rights campaigning a commercial activity, it is Shravan Singh is bringing you this mega exclusive story, setting the national news agenda of the day. And even as we wait to get him live, I'm reading from some parts of the charge sheet which clearly calls the bluff of these human rights campaigners, because they themselves admit in the questioning done by Enforcement Directorate that they are carrying out a commercial activity, a for-profit commercial activity in which they have made money, and that human rights campaigning is commercial. And all this they did while trying to hoodwink the systems in place in India, Shivangi. Remember, they are not allowed to bring in this money without FCRA clearance. So what they did was they registered a company and got the money in the form of FDI, foreign direct investment in human rights of India. That is what is coming out. And then they make two reports, one on Kashmir, the other on the Sikh riots. And those two reports are used by international anti-India elements to embrace the country at various international platforms. Now, this is what they call commercial human rights campaigning activity. We have RP Singh of the BJP, with whom we spoke earlier. Let's listen into what he has to say as a BJP reaction.
As to how Amnesty had floated few shell companies which later went to few organizations which are banned to receive funds. How do you see it?
Well, earlier also they were routing the money which was supposed to be routed for NGO through a company, which they are not entitled to as per the law. Now they have formed another way to route the money through the shell company as exposed by your channel. Now the required authorities will take the action, but this exposes this sort of ecosystem being created by the foreign funding in the India.
So do you think it's high time that such organizations be banned?
That court has to see and then the government has to see into it, but yes, some sort of check need to be brought onto such organizations who want to defame country by foreign funding.
All right, that was RP Singh of the BJP National Secretary and spokesperson giving his first reaction and condemning these actions. But what is important is, viewers, that Amnesty International is being investigated for breach of law, for hoodwinking the Ministry of Home Affairs, for registering a company rather than registering a company rather than an NGO for a social cause, and for whatever money they have got from outside, they had to take an FCRA registration with the Ministry of Home Affairs, which they did not take because they wanted to avoid the legal scrutiny. They wanted to avoid the lens eye of our Home Ministry and the agencies, because if you take FCRA registration, then you are under the scanner of agencies for any hanky-panky, and they wanted to avoid that. Perhaps a case of mens rea, a guilty mind. Let's listen to what RP Singh had to say once again and then come back.
Details as to how Amnesty had quoted few shell companies which later went to few organizations who were banned to receive funds. How do you see this?
Well, earlier also they were routing the money which was supposed to be routed for NGO through a company, which they are not entitled to as per the law. Now they have formed another way to route the money through the shell company as exposed by your channel. Now the required authorities will take the action, but this exposes the sort of ecosystem being created by the foreign funding in the India.
So do you think it's high time that such organizations be banned?
That court has to see and then the government has to see into it, but yes, some sort of check need to be brought onto such organizations who want to defame country by foreign funding.